Catch of the day, environmental racism in the Portland Harbor. This project explores the intersection of historical urban planning, environmental racism, and systemic health disparities through the lens of the Portland Harbor Superfund site. I am specifically focusing on Cathedral Park Beach in North Portland. While regulatory agencies report the beach as very low risk for casual recreation wading, the river sediment is heavily contaminated with toxins that build up in the river's food chain. The core of this advocacy issue is a major health inequality. Low-income, African-American, and immigrant communities in Portland face high levels of toxic chemical exposure because they fish the local river and slough to feed their families and stretch their limited grocery budgets. Historically, discriminatory housing regulations, including redlining and racially restrictive property laws, prevented minority families from buying homes in less industrialized neighborhoods. At the same time, city zoning devalued the North Portland Peninsula, turning it into a throwaway zone for heavy manufacturing. Today, vulnerable populations pay the price of generations of environmental injustice, unknowingly ingesting toxic chemicals while facing food, housing, and healthcare insecurities. This is not just a local issue, but a part of a global pattern of structural disparity. We see the same disproportionate impact from environmental hazards all over the world. From the Flint water crisis in Michigan to the Dakota Access Pipeline threatening sacred lands of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, to the mining town of La Oroya, Peru, where children's health is sacrificed over corporate profit. Portland has its own geographic dividing lines, where the North Portland Peninsula and the Columbia Slough were historically sacrificed to heavy industry and forced minority and immigrant communities to bear the biological burden of polluted waterways. This topic connects population health principles to real neighborhoods within our own community. For many immigrant and minority families, fishing is not only about survival, but a cherished link to heritage and nature. Generations of environmental injustice have poisoned this sacred practice, effectively forcing a painful choice between preserving an ancestral ritual and risking exposure to toxic waste. By tracking social determinants of health, specifically physical environment, economic instability, and language barriers, we see how institutionalized racism forms the framework of these disparities. As professional nurses, acting as global citizens, we have a responsibility to challenge these environmental injustices by extending our clinical knowledge beyond bedside care and into community advocacy. To address this critical health disparity, I urge the Multnomah County Board of Commissioners and the Community Health Services Committee to take immediate action with 2 targeted strategies to protect our low-income and multilingual immigrant communities. First, allocate public health funding to place multilingual peer educators at Cathedral Park Beach, to provide culturally sensitive outreach that can better communicate the risks of eating fish from this part of the river. It's important to honor the cultural importance the river holds while educating the community on the risks from pollution. Second, expand county food security initiatives in North Portland, such as fresh produce and protein vouchers from local farmers markets, to offer safe, dignified alternatives to fishing in contaminated waters. Thank you.